Did you know that historians don't know the origins of April Fools? There are a few ideas, but no defining point in history from which it started, at least from my understanding. If you know, please comment down below. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's April 1st, and I'm making a compilation of my favorite comedy books, comics, and shows and movies for you guys to check out. So let's go! Terry Pratchett is one of the best comedy authors of all time. He's written some of my personal favourite comedy books, the best ones of which being Mort, The Colour of Magic, and the Good Omens book series. Terry Pratchett's an incredible writer, able to imbue his world building with great moral lessons and food for thought. He perfectly blends plot with excellent characters and good life lessons. I'd recommend checking out the Good Omens book series, Mort and Colour of Magic. Yes, these are my favourite. The Colour of Magic is a lot more comedy focused with less focus on characters, just so you're aware before you read. Terry Pratchett is a brilliant writer, beautifully mixing comedy with some of the best sci-fi and fantasy worlds I've ever read. So be sure to check out some Terry Pratchett if you're looking for laughs, preferably the ones I recommended. Batman Wayne Family Adventures follows Duke, aka the Beacon, when he moves into Wayne Manor to receive more hands-on training from Bruce Wayne, aka the Batman, and Bruce needs a vacation, but between his night job, day job, and stream of adopted children, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Batman Wayne Family Adventures is a slice of life and comedy webtoon. It's filled with wholesome family fluff as opposed to the never-ending misery and sadness of the Bat family in DC canon. But they can get more dark, dealing with things like Jason's PTSD, which DC canon doesn't really tackle, or at least not very well. However, Wayne Family Adventures isn't just built on the things canon DC won't do. As previously mentioned, it's a comedy with jokes that change and switch up a fair amount. They're never drawing things out, and they never make jokes that don't match the tone of the storyline/scene. They have lots of obscure/somewhat forgotten DC characters. Duke's the main character, and he's not very popular or well known. They also include others like Bluebird and Batwing. Much like Duke, they're not just throwaway side characters, but have chapters about them and also feature in lots of chapters in some capacity. Overall, Batman Wayne Family Adventures is a fun, chaotic read with a great cast of characters and enjoyable, humorous storylines. Ramshackle is an indie animated pilot which will hopefully get an indie animation show following Skip, Stone, and Vinny, three street rats trying to survive the brutal streets of Ramshackle, where the richest of the rich and poorest of the poor live. Ramshackle is crammed-packed with hilarious jokes and visual guides. The characters all well written and defined very well in spite of the little content we've received so far. It seems to me like it will be more of an episodic indie show from what little content that we've been provided with, which will be really nice as all other indie shows I've come across are somewhat serialized, so it would be a nice change of pace. It's one of the best indie animation pilots I've seen in a while, so make sure to give it a watch. It's really cool, and I really want it to get fully funded for an animated series. The Crown Princess Scandal is a webtoon following Ha Young, who's forced to go to the Imperial Palace to compete for the position of the next Crown Princess due to her younger sister signing up for it but then deciding she doesn't want to do it. For the next 6 months, she will be required to live in the Imperial Palace until the Crown Princess is selected. Absolutely not! 6 months of dressing up and dealing with court drama and dancing? No way in hell! Hwa Young's conviction is only reaffirmed when she meets the irritating Crown Prince, who's an annoying brat, but he has vowed to keep her in the Crown Princess competition as he despises her as well. Will Hwa Young be able to make it home before the 6 months is up, in spite of all the obstacles in her way? The Crown Princess Scandal is a hilarious comic. It's very enjoyable. All the characters are super funny with pure chaos, especially with the main characters and their wall climbing and shoe throwing escapades. The main characters are, as you can guess, Ha Young and the Crown Prince, stuck in a very typical enemies to lovers storyline, but it's not dragged out by the writing, and the progress is smooth plus very natural for who the characters have been set up to be and the situation they are in. The Crown Princess Scandal also has some very heartfelt and tragic storylines running throughout it. The comedy, romance, and more tragic/poignant storylines all blend together to make a lovely written comic, which is very enjoyable, humorous, and touching. So make sure to check it out now on Webtoon. Spike's family follows Lloyd Forger, a master spy who has a plan for anything except for forging a fake family. He needs to lock down a fake sophisticated wife and get a child, so he went to the orphanage to buy Anya, who tricked his ass into buying her, as not only did she lie about her age, but she can also read his mind, and when she heard he was a spy, she thought it would be a chance for a fun adventure like a TV show. So with that problem acquired, he needs to now find a fake wife who could fake being sophisticated, which is somehow something even his hotness struggled to pull. That's until the whole pressure crashes into him. You're a seemingly ordinary civil servant, and when he says they're married, she's down, as it's a helpful cover-up for the fact that she's not just an ordinary civil servant, but also an assassin that kills people for money, thus creating their fake family. The story of Spike's family is one of comedy through using a backdrop of Cold War's espionage following spy missions and killings. At its core, however, it's a story about three unlikely people making a family. It's an enjoyable, heartfelt and funny show, which is perfect for some laughs this April Fools. Inside Job is an animated workplace comedy following Regan Reilly, an antisocial, hot-headed genius working at Cognito Inc., a shady government organization that helps cover up and create the world's biggest conspiracies. Because in this world, conspiracies are real. The moon landing? Fake. Lizard people? Real. As well as Regan, we have Brent Hand, who is the duo antagonist of Inside Job. Brent is polite, sociable, and smart, though not as smart as Regan. He's recruited to help Regan with her trouble and social interactions. However, she resents him at first because she has to share her job promotion with him. But when she warms up to him with time, they give us the best friend duo, who are just that, friends. And I love this show for that. There is no romantic energy here because we can have platonic relationships between men and women that are very intimate. Take notes, Star vs. the Fosters of Evils writers. We have a whole other cast of wacky characters in the form of their co-workers, such as the robot president, who steals every scene he's in. Seriously, I love this guy. And the conflicts that arise from the actions on the job, such as the fact the Earth is flat, the Stone Age theory, and the JFK assassination. Inside Job is great for fans of Futurama, Rick and Morty, and just really any high-concept comedy series. So pretty much everything I've been recommending here, if you like it, because everything is high-concept comedy with good plot. The comedy itself is hilarious and filled with references from every generation alive and different shows and movies. Nearly every character you end up rooting for, even the ones you don't start out liking or hate even. The show focuses on very mature themes such as toxic relationships, trauma, depression, sex, etc. It's really enjoyable and I highly recommend watching it for some laughs this April Fools. Cinderella Boy. When Chase, a fame-obsessed teenager, finds a strange key, he finds that he can walk into any book and play out the story, but only as the heroine. However, if Chase finishes enough story, he can make any wish he wants to. But he's not the only one with the power to enter stories. The other is a malicious and mysterious young man working with rival forces in possession of his own key, which makes him the villain of the stories. Determined to steal Chase's key and kick him out of storybook biz for good. Cinderella Boy is a hilarious story. The jokes basically write themselves, as the story has many scenes set within fairy tales and trashy romance novels, so it can make fun of the tropes or parody the story, while still having the characters going on arcs of their own. But sometimes the story isn't just jokes and characters. The mystery surrounding the keys and where they came from, their powers originate from, and who the rival forces against Chase are is a pretty big plot point as well. Overall, Cinderella Boy is a blast to read, jam-packed with jokes and amazing characters, a perfect read for some laughs or to get away from any bad feelings when you have them. So please go check out Cinderella Boy on Webtoon. It'll be linked down below. Vampire Family is a webtoon following the middle child of the vampire family, Dragomir's, Natalia. They keep themselves isolated from humans for their safety. However, Natalia chooses to attend high school as she yearns to break away from her dull life and make friends. Natalia makes the choice to befriend her desk neighbor Evangelo first. However, after seeing him, she realizes he's fallen in love with her at first sight, and so she brings him to meet her family as he's in love with her, and now they're dating. And Evangelo is from a family of vampire hunters who, before years needs to kill a vampire to earn a title as vampire hunter and not be labelled as a failure and bring shame upon his family. But vampires have mastered hiding from humans as the centuries have gone on, and then a vampire sits down right next to him at school and becomes convinced he's in love with her, thus beginning the most wonderful misunderstanding in webtoon romance history. The Vampire Family is a hilarious webtoon with misunderstandings, family and school. The comedy is top tier, only accentuated by the very manga-esque art style, especially through the facial expressions, which are just so funny. If you like family relationships and the only good case of romantic relationship misunderstandings in a webtoon, check out Vampire Family. And by romantic relationship misunderstandings, I mean like thinking you're in a relationship with someone. I hope you'll consider checking out one of these for laughs during April or just when you're feeling down. What's your favorite comedies to check out? If you want more content like this, check out my 2 other recommendation videos. I also have speed edits available on my channel. Quick disclaimer, if there are any inaccuracies within this video, it's because I recorded and edited this video in 2024. By 2025, God, that's such a large number. Some facts within it, specifically pertaining to the indie animation shows, will be inaccurate due to this. Please remember to like, share the video, and check out my other recommendations videos, as well as the recommendations within this videos for some laughs. All related links to do with them, IMDb pages, webtoons, and Goodreads will be in the pinned comment down below.